Illuminating like bright light right now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the World of Max, where we do a bunch of crazy shenanigans. Let's do it right now. Today, I got a bunch of stuff, and on computer too. I had way more on my computer, but they disappeared. We're gonna be reading my old, short stories, stuff I wrote. Yeah, pretty sure this thing I found in my closet is probably going to be the oldest thing. Hold on. Let me give you some backstory. A long time ago, my first ever book series I wrote was called the Scientist series. I'm going to say third grade. Yeah. Third grade. I wrote this huge series. I think there was, let's see if I can remember. Scientist, the Muffin Man. I made him a bad guy. I think there's 4 books, maybe 5. Actually, no, now I remember. There were 6 books. 6 books I wrote when I was very little. 3rd grade me. I'm freshman. Those are gone for a long time now because I was at my old school and I never got them. So, this, I'm pretty sure, is the closest thing to that. Then also in 4th grade at that school, it's SCCS, I had 2 books. It's called the Max and Tom series. They were published into this little book thing that my school released. It's somewhere in my house and I don't know where. I spent an hour trying to look for it and it didn't work. Let's start off with Bendy, Projectionist. This was when I was obsessed with Bendy and the Ink Machine. Let's see if I can read this amazing. Okay, let's see here. Why do you have to bully those searchers for, said the projectionist. It's because they're my slaves, said Bendy. You're mean, said the projectionist. Said the projectionist. Do you want to feel the pain like your brothers did? Asked Bendy. No, oh please no, said the projectionist. Then get out of here because I'm going to do the thing in 5, 4, 3, 2. Bye, said the projectionist. He ran away. Butcher Gang searchers. Hello, stupid ink blob. Things, said one-eyed Dan. Are they going to cry? Laughed Rodhead. So I guess while I'm editing this, I'm going to put up a picture of each character. Are they going to run off to their moms? Oh yeah, I forgot. They don't have one. Teased 3-armed creature. That's all there is. Wow, I could have sworn I wrote a part with Projectionist and Alice, but no. Okay, that's the first story done. Let me try to think of which one would come next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the ones on my computer last, just so I don't have to set up my stuff. So let's start with some recent stuff. This is Evolution of the Dice. All 7 books. Oh, Lord. And 2 manuscripts of the first 2 books. So I'm not going to read this because I don't want to spoil crap. I'm just going to keep grabbing them. So this right here, it's The Crack in the Wall. This was going to be my Halloween special, but I decided no because I didn't like the ending because it made absolutely no sense at all. Might still make it. I have no clue. I'm not going to read it from here because I remastered it and this just sounds terrible. I added stuff too. Let's see in here. I'll read this. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so this is another short story, of course. This is when I met Wyatt in Forest. This is just something I wrote. I don't know. So here we go. It all starts with a word. That word becomes a sentence. That sentence becomes a paragraph. And then you start again. Soon you have a full story. We were in English class. I wanted to blurt out, we know this, then get up and stomp out of the room, but I had to keep my cool. The bell rang. I thought to myself, Great. Only 2 more classes to go. You have to math the math of our people. This is my math teacher. Yo, I was like shredding the gnar a couple days ago and I hit this killer wave 10 minutes later. And then I did this awesome turn. But the point I'm trying to make, to get to, is when I looked up, when I looked to the sky, there was an awesome cumulus cloud. And that's how science was for the next 30 minutes. It was a Friday, so everyone was talking about plans for the weekend. Such and such are hanging out this weekend. See you tomorrow, bro. It seemed like everyone had plans except me. The only fun thing I had planned was going to see my mom. I walked out the building into my dad's car. My dad got me to my mom's in 15 minutes. I said my goodbyes and went inside. The dogs greeted me at the door. After settling in, my mom said, "You know, the boys are here if you want to go talk to them." I thought to myself, oh, the boys that moved in 2 months ago? The boys that are way younger than me? The boys that you have been trying to make me hang out with since they got here? All I said was, "No, I'm fine." "Well, your loss," she said back to me. Vroom! The sound of the lawnmower starting up. My job was to mow the whole upper yard. I didn't want to because that was the boys' yard. That's all I have. It's just like the best thing ever. Okay, let's see. Empty. This is what I wrote Rune Season 1 in. There's nothing in there. I ripped all the pages up. I meant to do that. Okay, here we go to get some stuff. First, read the folder, and then we're actually going to get to a book. In this file is the original scripts for Ruins Season 1, along with maybe some other stuff. I don't think I'll read these because there's a lot here, and it's basically Ruins Season 1. Go check that out. Now we're getting to a book that I never finished, but I did write a lot to it. This was like my go-to writing book when I first started writing, when I was supposed to be doing my work. This is where I kept like my stuff for the Evolution of the Dice when I was writing that. So I got all the book names right here, so I'll just read them. Evolution of the Dice. Footsteps Through the Wilderness, Book 1. The Purple Die, Book 2. The one I'm working on right now, The Return of Buddy Dankworth, Book 3. The Red Ant Massacre, Book 4. The Rainbow Figure, Book 5. The Crack in the Purple, Book 6. Full Moon Rising, Book 7. And that's the last completed book. And then the one I never finished writing is The Breaking Tide, Book 8. The Dark Mist, Book 9. The New Beginning, Book 10. So yeah, that's the stuff, all the main books, and then I was going to be like, I'll write a mini-series about one of the characters that you'll meet soon. Journey Through the Loop. The Time Twister, Book 1. The War of the Vampires, Book 2. The Mistake That Changed Everything, Book 3. Born Back Again, Book 4. The Clip, Book 5. You'll know what I'm talking about later. And then I have this right here, The Hidden Case Files. The Chucky Shorts case file, File 2. The Sam Walters case file. The Mutant Gray case file, the Mutant Adrian case file, the Oliver the Bartender case file. Oh my god. The Bounty Hunter Nico case file, the Rocco the Guard Wolf case file, the Delilah Walters case file, the Anthony the Purple Demon case file, the Malachi the Wanderer case file, the Wyatt case file, Forrest case file, Max the Rainbow Dweller case file, Ben the Last of the Rainbow Dwellers case file, the Hoshen case file, the Steven Spider case file, the Rocco's Blank Annabelle case file. 17 files. There's a song, Respect Your Teachers. There's only 3 verses. I'm going to give backstory on this. This is A Tale of Two Wolves. So when I was very little, like 2, 3 maybe, I would have these dreams of these wolves. There's the light wolf and the dark wolf. The light wolf had freaking lights in his face. I still remember what he looked like. Like actually glowing, like illuminating lights. And then there's the dark wolf, which is this black wolf. Light wolf, I met first when I was 2. I was walking. It's night. Bathroom. I walked over to the bathroom. And then I saw lights flashing. And then I hid by the like these red boxes, so I hid behind that. The wolf came out. He's like, I smell. Oh no, wait a minute. I smell bacon. And then I woke up. So that was my first experience with any one of the wolves. I turned this into a story. This is probably going to be the longest one I'm going to read today. Okay, here you go. The sun is shining on the wet grass. The bright moon has disappeared behind the mountains. You ready, or are you going to stare off into space? My dad said. Yeah, I guess I'm ready, I said. He throws the frisbee. It drifts down to me and I catch it. A murder of crows flies up from the creek to my right, cawing and screeching. A strong wind started to blow. I aim the frisbee at my dad and throw. The wind blows the frisbee to the edge of the creek. My dad walks over to the edge and picks up the frisbee. Next time, throw more to the left so the wind can push it toward me, he said, turning around to face me. The wind blew harder. The hat on my dad's head flew off and into the creek. Dang, that was a new hat. I have to go get it. You wait here. Don't want you falling in. Okay, I said, walking back over to where we had our other sports stuff. I looked back to where my dad was. He was descending down the creek. I heard something strange, like the sound of something getting torn apart. I checked my dad's phone to see the time. 8:30 a.m. Shouldn't take him this long for him to get his hat, I said to myself. I decided to check the creek to see if he was anywhere. When I made it to the edge, the only thing I saw was a blood-stained hat. It was my dad's. I saw two dark red eyes staring at me. I knew what it was. The Dark Wolf. 7 years ago. Darkness. Well, not pure darkness. You could still see the streetlights. So one thing. All this is based off of multiple dreams I've had about these two wolves. And I just put it together into a story. So yeah. I'm in the back seat of my parents' car. My mom and I were just coming back from from an amusement park close to us. We pulled into the driveway. My mom parked under the big tent. Okay, let's do this. My mom parked under the big tent that blocks the sun from hitting the car. My mom opens her door and goes to mine, opens it, and unbuckles my car seat. I was 4 years old at the time. I hopped out of the car and walked toward the porch, where the single light was on, illuminating the darkness. My mom walked to the door, rummaging through her crammed purse for the key. When she finally found it, she went inside, leaving me behind in the dark. The porch light turned off. I was enveloped in darkness. I looked around the tent, to the fence and the start of the backyard. Two gleaming red eyes stared at me intensely. I heard long nails scraping on the ground. The thing was slowly walking toward me. It started to run at me. I screamed. It pushed me to the ground. Its sharp claws dug into my shoulders. Warm saliva dripped from its fangs, hitting my face. Hello, young child. I am the Dark Wolf, Prince of the Wolf Kingdom. You look like a good midnight snack, the wolf said. The front door slammed open. A shotgun blast exploded the quiet, sending the Dark Wolf off of me. Get your butt out of here, gosh darn it, my dad said. The wolf scurried to the fence. My dad aimed and fired at the wolf. He missed. The Dark Wolf hopped over the fence. My dad ran toward me, picked me up, and brought me inside. My shirt was covered in my blood. That was the first encounter with the Dark Wolf. I got into bed. I was scared. My bed was directly where the window that looks out to the big backyard, where the Dark Wolf had jumped over 2 hours beforehand. My Christmas lights were on, protecting me from the monsters lurking in the dark. I fell asleep. Little boy, come and see me, something whispered in my ear. I jolted up from my slumber. The lights were off. I heard my parents snoring in their bed a little ways away from me. I looked around the dark room. Everything was dark except the bathroom. Red, yellow, green, and pink glowed out of the bathroom. "Come here." A voice reached out to me through the eerie silence. I got out of bed. I walked toward the glowing light. When I made it to the bathroom, I looked in. A black blob was standing in the middle of the bathroom. Two blue eyes stared at me. "Hello. What's your name?" "Mine is Lightwolf, the actual prince of the Wolf Kingdom. My brother Darkwolf stole my position as prince, and when he becomes king, he will kill me," Lightwolf said, walking a little bit towards me. My name is Liam. Have you come here to kill me too, like that Darkwolf?" I said. "No, I am not here to kill you, but to protect you. I will be your guardian. I will scare out the bad and make it good. When you go to school, you won't have to be in a polluted car. You can ride me. If you need to go somewhere, I will take you there and protect you from the bad. I will teach you how to defend yourself against your enemies. But for the time being, you sleep. I will be here in the morning," Lightwolf said. His lights went off. I walked back to my bed and fell asleep. That was the first encounter with the Lightwolf. Damn. It's such a good book. It was like so much fun to write about because it's about my childhood and my dreams. They were scary. I had a thing about dogs, like not like that. But I was terrified of dogs. I would have freaking nightmares about dogs in my sleep, and it was not fun. I remember the two worst ones I had. Okay, so enough rambling about dreams. You can see that in the next video. Right now, what's going to be happening is I'm reading the books. I had so many like unfinished short stuff I've wrote, and it's not here. I don't know where it went. It's not in my drive. I've checked everywhere. I don't know what the hell happened. So I only have a couple, 3 books that I'm gonna read. Starting with The Man on Cherry Blossom Road. This was created on June 16th, 20. This is pretty old. And there's only a couple paragraphs. There you go. The house on Cherry Blossom Road was the type of place where nothing bad happened. It was indeed an old and kind of creepy house, but the people that lived there were the most loving kind folk in all the town of Strawberry Field. These folks were named Mr. and Mrs. Marmalade. Mr. and Mrs. Marmalade ran a farm that had the best fruits and vegetables. They never had to leave their house. Instead, their farm was in their backyard, which was a big backyard, until it happened. All the farmland was blown apart. It happened when Mr. Marmalade was pulling out carrots in his backyard when he hit something hard and metal. Mr. Marmalade thought it was a pipe, so he went and got his plumbing tools from his shed. When he came out of the barn, he almost fell out of the shed and into a deep crater. The house was slowly collapsing into the hole. Mr. Marmalade yelled for his wife, who heard him and went out back and walked right off the edge and collapsed to the bottom. She tried to reach out for her husband's hand, but missed and plummeted down to the bottom. But this lady wasn't weak like most ladies. This is 5th grade me, so do not be mad at me. She got back up and screamed, "I'm okay!" Mr. Marmalade was relieved, but not for long, because at that moment the house came plummeting to the ground, crushing her. Mr. Marmalade looked from the ground to where his house had been, then back to the crater. In that crater, there was a gopher. This gopher had chewed the wires of some type of bomb that was supposed to explode the farm. Mr. Marmalade knew one person that would do such a thing, and that was his rival, who wanted to have a better farm than Mr. Marmalade. So Mr. Marmalade ran with his gun and went straight to his rival, Mr. Jelly. "You great big son of a... What do you want, Mr. Marmalade?" said Mr. Jelly.
You blew up my farm, you killed my wife, you destroyed my hard-earned food, my house, everything you are going to pay.
Mr. Marmalade pointed his gun barrel right at Mr. Jelly's forehead and prepared to shoot, but when he pulled the trigger, his gun wouldn't shoot.
Blast, my damn gun been jammed.
Heh, good for you. Honey, call the sheriff. Tell him there was a man with a firearm trying to kill me. Oh, and also tell him he kicked in my dang door. Tell him to come immediately. 5 minutes later, the sheriff arrived, walked through the entrance where the door had been. Excuse me, but what seems to be the problem, Mr. Jelly? Your wife told me you had an accident. Did you shit your pants or something? And that's all, too? The Man on Cherry Blossom Road. Next book is Room 6667. This is a book made from dreams. Act 1. It begins. I need to put something about this having drug content in it because I do remember. Darkness. Lightning cracks in the sky. It starts to rain. My dad and I are taking a night walk through my school. The teachers don't mind us walking through those parts, as long as we don't touch anything or bring anyone else along for the ride. A heavy fog forms. My dad is walking slightly faster than I am. The fog grows heavier. My dad starts to disappear. I yelled to him, "Wait for me!" but he responded with silence. I ran through the fog in the direction my dad was walking with me. I waved my hands through the air trying to feel him. Nothing. I turned to the right. I turned to the left. I turned in every which way, but I could not hear his breath, see him, or feel him. I decided to go to the one area I could see, my school building. I pulled on one of the tall glass doors out front. Surprisingly, it opens. I am met by the smell of a smell I have never smelled in a Christian school and in general. The first classroom I could see upon going through the door was my math teacher's room. A dark green glow shooting out of the little glass window on the door. From where I was standing, I could see the inside of his room. The room was painted a white and gray, but the swamp green shot across the walls made it so you could not see the gray or white. I saw a shadow move in the corner of the room. Someone was in there, and I needed to find out who it was. I proceeded up the spiral staircase to his room. I looked in through the door and saw my math teacher. He must have seen me because he noticed me to come. He motioned me to come inside the classroom. I opened the door and went inside. The smell I was greeted with was absurd. The was so strong in his classroom it made my eyes burn. On the table was Yo, what are you doing here, Max? It's so late, my math teacher said. Mr. Brunkman, I lost my dad from all of this fog outside. I was wondering if I could stay here until morning. You could just call me Bud. And like my mom Mary Jane always said, you gotta help students from the classroom in any way possible. Sure, you could stay as long as you want. He paused. I will be right back, Mr. Brunkman said. What is Spiritus Dawowski? Grabbing the bottle, it's just whiskey. I took the time to look around the place. 2 fish tanks are on either side of his desks, a feature I had never seen before in regular class. The green glow was coming from the whiteboard. It was shooting out a swamp-colored green. I looked behind me and saw a big plant. The plant had spiky leaves. The door slammed open, making it fly off its hinges. Mr. Brunkman threw this bottle at the wall, exploding it on impact. He picked up one of the chairs and threw it against one of the windows of the classroom. The window shattered. This made the fog float up through the window. The room became the haze it was before when I lost my dad. He pointed at me and yelled, You mother! What are you doing here in my classroom? He stumbled over to one of his fish tanks, picked it up, and threw it in my direction. The fish tank exploded. Water rushed everywhere. Water drenched my clothes. Mr. Brunkman walked over to the floppy fish that was on the ground and proceeded to eat every last one of them. He then turned to me only a few feet away. The fog simmered down. Mr. Brunkman's eyes were filled with red. His brown pupils were not visible. He got up slowly, then leaned over me. I ran out the door. Mr. Brunkman was chasing me through the hallways. "You get the back here!" Well, Mr. Brunkman wasn't psycho. He played football during lunch. Last year, he even played basketball, soccer, and even volleyball. So he's good at running. He caught up to me pretty easily. I ran down the 2 flights of stairs and got to the door. I ran right into it, knocking me out cold. I woke up on a couch. There's a blanket over me and a pillow under my head. Whew, it was all a dream, I thought to myself. I sat up. A sharp pain throbbed in my head. This was not my house. I knew that for a fact. I took the time to look around. The house was tiny, with wood floors and orange and yellowish white walls. The TV in front of me was huge. When my feet hit the floor, 2 fat rats scurried towards them. I pulled my feet back up on the couch. The rats went back under the couch. Ah! Someone yelled from down the hall. A door slammed open, followed by loud stomps coming from my area. I grabbed one of the blankets that was sloppily folded and put it on top of me, covering every square inch of my body. It had burn marks that were probably from cigarettes in it and smelled like spoiled milk. And that's all I have of room 6667. This dream was about my math teacher. Well, my 7th grade math teacher. Shocker. Crazy. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is story time. Are they real or fake? A short story by me. This is on my YouTube channel. I wrote this for one of my videos. I was just like writing. There's 2 parts. I lost the other part. I don't know where it went. It was Killing Spree with Glee. So, let's just do this, I think. My name is Zach, or what my friends call me, Z. I'm in middle school, and I have always had a dream of meeting 2 of my favorite horror characters, Chucky and Pennywise. There has been a rumor going around that one of the kids from my school has gone missing, so that got me thinking, Pennywise and Chucky. One day, when it was rainy, I decided to run from school to explore the forest where I knew they were hiding, waiting for me. I walked back into the woods and went to an area that had a big sewage pipe. I decided to go back to where my friend was and ask him to come with me. My plan B was just knock him out. If he said no, of course. Oh, wait. And of course, he did, so I knocked him out. I went through the pipe that went down. I found myself thinking, if I did meet Pennywise and Chucky, and they wanted to kill me, I could offer my friend. I heard something crunch under my foot. It was a bone. That was a sign that they were there. Then I heard something. I heard a scuffling on the ground. Then out of the ground came a hand. Then a body. Pennywise came out of the ground. Chucky came behind him. Just at that second, my friend woke up and screamed when he saw him. I said hello, and they said, "Hi, do you want to die?" "Hello, Georgie." "Hi there." Oh, God, okay. My friend got out of my arms and started to run, and as an offering to join forces with you. "Well, I accept. Only one condition. You kill him." "Yep," Chucky said. He walked over to me and gave me his knife. I grabbed it and ran at my friend, and in one throw the knife hit him, killing him. I brought his body back to Pennywise and Chucky. I gave the knife back to Chucky, and after that, I waited for them to say something. They walked away and started talking to each other. Then they came back and grabbed me. Pennywise put a hand in the blood of my friend and put it on my face to make it look like him. Then said, "You're one of us, huh?" But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, notification bell, so you never have when future videos come out. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.